Welcome, everybody, to episode 12 and season finale of the Bullseye Podcast. I'm joined by Phil and Tyler. Carl will be joining us in a bit, hopefully. And we have a very special guest. Joining us today is Heath Rinkus and Pippa.
It me.
It you.
It him.
Pippa, you want to say hi? No, okay.
For those of you who don't know, that is the inaugural and defending Corgi race champ.
She won every race she ran on Raymond James Field.
She will also win every future race.
We'll work on it. We just gotta convince people to bring them back.
For those of you who don't know, Heath is a former USF cheerleader. Maybe top two, according to a prior conversation. Fan of our generation. Some would debate.
I try. Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot.
You might have seen Heath's signs on the during game day. They're the best. The best memer on Twitter, in my opinion.
Heart.
You know what? I like everything that you do, and that's why I wanted to bring you on for what I think is going to be the most chill, laid back episode of the show so far. It's gonna be super rad. That's totally fine. Yeah, no, because this isn't a journalism. This is a conversation among friends who are just trying to chill. You know, we don't got work tomorrow.
Yes, we do.
Or except for Tyler, whose life, sucked. And then, we're doing today is a vibe.
So we can talk about Star Wars and The Witcher on Netflix, right?
I haven't seen Star Wars yet, but I'm watching The Witcher.
No spoilers, please.
They all get pregnant and die. Every last one of them.
Jesus.
Oh, you can cut that out, right?
Did Darth Vader get pregnant too?
Well, I don't want to give it all away, but yes.
Oh, shit.
They even show the scene. It was the best. I applauded out loud.
Rated M.
So this is going to be super chill. Nothing too crazy tonight. We're going to do some fun segments. But before all that, we're going to knock out the sports stuff first. So let's talk about, let's actually start with basketball. Let's mix it up. Let's start with basketball.
It all hurts.
Phil, do you have any updates on basketball for this week?
Well, I just got off a plane about an hour ago, so I don't have any stats or anything like this week. So no turnovers versus free throws, but it did not go well. It did not go well. We were up by 10 against Florida State, number 19 in the team in the country.
And then Joey Knight tweeted.
Yeah, and then
yes,
just
the opposite of a shout out for Joey Knight.
No. Joey's great. Joey's great. I'm totally fine.
Just not on that occasion.
But then he tweeted, and from there it went.
Oh,
you guys know the tweet in particular, I mean, right?
Yes. Unfortunately.
What did it exactly say?
We will not blow this.
Yep.
Let me find it, because I saw it and I already saw people replying. I didn't even look at the score. Like, oh.
So I was watching this on the TV at home with my dad and my brother. Yeah, well, I wanted to go because I live right here, and for months I'm like, hey, does anyone want to go to the game? And Carl's like, yeah, I'm gonna come to that game, and then he didn't. This will be the fourth time now I've invited Carl to come do something, and he won't come down.
In my defense, I was still in Oklahoma.
You're in Oklahoma. You get it. You get a slight pass the first few times. It's okay, but yeah, I know you didn't want to go. No one wants to hang out with me. Are you
Bulls up by 10 with 6:20 to go. They ain't squandering this one. Just you watch.
And then we went.
Oh dear.
And then
the ratio on this: 76 replies, 34 retweets. Oh no.
And Joey does a lot of great work. He does cover the Bulls pretty well. That's just unfortunate because who in their right mind saw us giving up a 19-3 run to end the game?
It was like one basket we made in the last 5 minutes, something just.
And I will say
it was bad.
Playing.
I will say part of it is the rest swallowed the whistle, and a lot of our game is we're going to go aggressive and get to the free throw line. when those stop being called, whether that's the right or wrong call, I'll keep my opinion about that out of it. But when we stopped going to the free throw line, the points dried up.
What, our 50% free throw rate?
But at the same time, I mean, when you shoot as many free throws as we do, 50% is going to get you point.
I think this game was 100%.
That's math right there, confirmed.
Quick math.
Putting my MBA to good use.
You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Wayne
That's
Gretzky,
been my mom's
Michael
out email for her teaching thing for years. Actually,
perfect.
it's a good quote.
Shout out to Heath's mom. What's your mom's first name?
Well, she goes by Beth, but it's actually Dorothy. Don't tell anyone I said that though. She's also on Twitter.
Don't tell us all.
You guys should go look for my mom on Twitter, but she's there.
By
It's
the
great.
end of the
I
show,
post
we'll
some weird stuff,
have your mom's
and she'll-
Twitter on the show.
All right.
Shout out to Heath's mom.
Anyway, but it was
Anyway.
Any other time that's weird. Hey, shout out to Heath's mom.
Anyway.
Well, it's the holiday.
Okay.
So I was watching the game, and I'm trying to figure out at what point, this is before the meltdown, at what point the meltdown was going to come, because I could feel it in my bones that USF was going to.
I feel like that whole sentence was a TMI.
My bones.
Yeah.
No, I won't specify. When you replay that, you'll hear it.
Carl, I know you're not on, but add it to the things Ryan says compilation. Which is a thing that's taking shape.
It's what's frustrating is they played 35 minutes well against a top 20 opponent.
Yeah,
but I know I'm not the only one who's really sick of these. Well, we played a top 20 team really well, and then we fell apart at the end. It's just and this is not a knock on Brian Gregory. He still has my full support, especially when you lose two of your best players before the season starts.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was already brokenhearted after that.
Just unlucky, but there's got to come a point with when are we going to get that elusive win? And it's just it's frustrating, especially. I know I'm not the only one who wanted to see the state green because Florida State beat Florida, so by certain school logic,
transitive property that would give us
control the state of Florida. Yeah,
yes.
Which is the most important.
We could wear the gray sweatpants and flex on the pose. Yeah,
exactly.
So I mean, they played hard.
It didn't end up going our way in like the middle of the third quarter. You could tell like everyone.
I don't know. You're talking.
I'm sorry.
As a longtime USF fan, I had no idea that would happen. No, never.
What quarter were we in college basketball, right?
You know what, man? I'm still.
I think you mean second half, maybe.
The second half. But let me get the point across before this bullshit, man. The defense was incredible on both sides for the game. It just has so happened to be that USF's defense was really, really good the first half, and then was really, really good for like the first half of what I would consider the third quarter, which is basically the first half of the last half. Which
that's a lot of work to get to that.
There should be quarters, is what I'm saying, NCAA.
They do in the women's game.
They do in the women's game. The perfect game, some would say.
Like God intended, my 4 quarters.
And where USF stopped doing basically everything right in that second half of the second half, FSU got better as the game went on. They forced more turnovers. They made their shots. There was a string where they hit like 3 pointers in a row to go on like a 9-1 run. Like they kept getting the ball back. And again, it's constant. Turnovers are our biggest enemy. But we had a game last week where we only had 8 turnovers.
Yeah, it's like they've lived and died by turnovers since the beginning of last year, essentially. Whether creating them or just throwing them at the other team.
Right, and I feel like we're disciplined. When you look at the USF Bulls basketball team, you look at guys who know what they're doing, who are really, really good basketball players, and for some reason they turn the ball over and can't hit their free throws, which are, you know, if you cut down at those stats by half, they're potentially a ranked basketball team with wins against top teams.
Let's also be fair that this team was being projected to potentially be ranked. Before Yetna went down. So it's not unrealistic. I'm also excited
And
though. I mean,
left.
I'm sad we're losing I'm sad we're losing Q. But I'm also encouraged, especially by seeing some of the numbers that Caleb Murphy's putting up, the guy who's going to be taking his spot. And then we just got about a 7-foot transfer who's going to be patrolling our middle with Yetna now.
Yeah, I don't ever feel watching this USF basketball team that we're in trouble. Right? I don't feel like we're like USF football where like everything sucks. Right. Like
I was about to say, sometimes I'll watch the games and be like, oh no. That's different. In terms of the trajectory, yes.
Right. I feel like even though we're having a downward turn this season, we're still on an upward.
Just a rough patch.
It's like a sophomore year, basically. You know, you got to get past it.
Sorry. It's like with the women this year. The women are struggling as well. Do you have any doubts in Jose Fernandez? No.
To knock it up for conference play, no, not at all. Yeah.
And that what also hurt, at least for me, with the men's team. Did you guys see how we lost to Utah State?
Can't say I watched that game.
So it
all makes me sad. Every bit of it.
First of all, I got to watch that game. That was a phenomenal basketball game. They had a shot to win at the buzzer in regulation. Poor play, but they get a good-looking shot, just doesn't fall. Tied 64-64 with about 30 seconds left. Ball gets thrown off of Marachevich's knee. One way or another, it's called a kick. I still don't know how it's called a kick. Utah State takes another shot. Both players jump up, try to get it. A ball just happens to bounce right into the guy's hands for an uncontested layup at the buzzer. That was one of the most gut-wrenching ways to lose a basketball game I've ever seen. And they did not deserve to lose like that.
And that's just the way the cookie crumbles,
Easy for you to say.
The men played two tough opponents in Utah State and Florida State, and they looked good in both games. They were both very winnable games. A little bit bad luck, a bad beat to go 0-2, but I believe in Brian Gregory, and this is not a knock on him in any way, shape, or form, because I do believe he's going to get this this program into the tournament. But maybe it's just the impatient USF fan in me that just wants to see that I want to beat the Florida States. I want to beat Florida. And it's just frustrating that we all seem to get so close and just can never quite get over the line.
We might do it in baseball.
We do have 3 shots about it. Plus, Billy, you never know. The one thing you're going to see with the Billy Mole baseball team is good pitching. So if your pitcher gets hot for 2 days, you win a series.
All right, so that's basketball talk. Let's go over really quick the coaching staff that USF just hired for football.
We're the USF Bowl Owls.
USF Bowels.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Not so sure about that. I don't think we want to be called the Bowels. That leads to too many.
Oh, come on.
We get a real movement going for the Bowels, I think.
I was going to make the exact same joke just now.
You got to shoot to win, kid.
All right, so here are the new guys, the new faces of USF football. New offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach is Charlie Weiss Jr.
That's not a name I was expected to hear.
Is that related to the interim coach we had, a few years ago? Or am I just a crazy person?
You mean, no, that's a different man entirely.
Entirely.
That was Weist. TJ Weist.
Weist. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So good. Definitely not related then.
He is related to Charlie Weiss.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Those are completely different. I knew that, name is in some way familiar. It's throwing up things in my head, though.
Yeah.
Why do I know that name then?
Because you're a good lad. Who knows his things.
But I don't.
Well, Charlie Weiss was a big coach.
Notre Dame, right?
Yes, I believe so.
What's that?
Isn't this guy 26 or something like that?
That's why I said to tell his age, because he's 26.
He's a year older than me.
Boys, he's my age.
Yeah. What are you doing with your life?
Oh.
I'm sure.
For real though.
No, but I'm sure he's been playing just as much NCAA 14 as we have, and none of us are coaching.
He got a pretty glowing review though from Blake Barnett on Twitter, and from what I've seen, he's considered one of the rising stars in coaching. So that, from everything I've read, and keep in mind, 247 Bulls will know a lot more about if it's a good hire or not than we will here. But from everything I've read, it seems to be a solid hire.
Yeah, I like new blood. It's something we were talking about early on in the coaching search. Was let's not hire fired old men. Let's hire young blood who's hungry and wants to win.
I think we should do what the NFL's doing and go strictly for young, handsome, and like really well sculpted facial features. Cliff Kingsbury was my option. But then the Cardinals, they beat the Seahawks or something, didn't they? Yeah, so that's out the door. He's going to keep his job. He got his 5 or 6 wins. Dang it!
That would have been an insane fall from grace.
As a side note, though, the Panthers are leaning towards Mike McCarthy, and please, Lord, they're going to be horrible forever. I just want to point that out. If they take Mike McCarthy,
didn't McCarthy win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, didn't he get you a title?
You're right. It wasn't Aaron Rodgers at all. No, it was Mike McCarthy.
Well, couldn't it have been both?
I'm
not a Packers fan, so I don't know.
I'm watching the Packers lose 10-6 to the Vikings right now. But that being said, they could still be the number 1 seed in the NFC. So maybe it was.
Yeah, the NFC is
in his first year without Mike McCarthy. So who knows?
All right. The second coach is our special teams coordinator, Daniel Da Prato. Da is his middle name, I think.
Neat.
Because it's not connected to the Prato.
Just please fix our special teams. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, are we gonna get 8 kicks blocked and all this?
Well, the man is a ginger. So if he sold his soul for special teams,
we'll be okay.
We'll be okay.
The only highlight in our special teams in 3 or 4 years was one outstanding day against Georgia Tech.
Yes, absolutely.
Anything else coming up? No, technically there was a incredible come from behind win with a field goal last year against a team we really shouldn't have had to come from behind for.
Oh, which one?
No. Was that Tulsa last year?
Oh my God, that game.
That game. That game.
The game that we're like,
game,
yay,
right?
the game where we're like, we won, but
why are we proud of this?
Yeah.
Why are we here?
Because it's our only
just
win.
to suffer.
Oh my God. So just
I was ready to miss it too.
All right, the next coach is our tight ends coach, Joey King. We replaced one King with another King. So we're still the Kings.
We're all King.
The King in the South.
They have King. Y'all see Sean King's tweet welcoming the new coaches? Oh.
No, I didn't.
It was good tingles. Good feels. It makes you feel bad, but also man, what a guy. What a dude.
Yeah.
Sean King is gonna go coach a D2 team to the championship. I'm not worried about him.
He'll go home to Blaine.
Now why'd you make me worry?
Because it's fun.
Who else do we get? Glenn Spencer is our DC.
Oh, I'm excited about that. I'm very excited about that. Because if you can get, and this is not a knock on FAU, but if you can get a group of 5 school to lead the country in turnovers, sign me up for that, please. And with our defense, we still have a good amount of talent on the defensive side of the ball. So it's not like he's going to need to mold his own unit.
I think this is a really good replacement for Brian Jean-Marie. Because they're both super, super intelligent men who know good defense. And his specialty is linebackers, and linebackers is something that we've suffered with.
I feel like that's been
recently.
like injuries have been the real issue to why we've suffered so much at linebacker.
Agreed.
Every year.
Like imagine if we had if Sawtell didn't get hurt and we have him the last year and a half.
Right?
Well,
imagine if we didn't have to start a walk-on defensive end at linebacker for like a year.
But
and give him credit.
He balled out. But
yeah.
Imagine.
But then he went back last year. You go what? He goes back to defensive end and
back to that edge, and yeah, exactly. So if we didn't have to do that, I just feel like it's depth is big issue.
But speaking of injuries, we did also get strength and conditioning coach, whose name is eluding me at the moment. But we did get a new strength and conditioning coach, so maybe that changes.
I did read something interesting about him. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember where, but he coached with Chad Morris. I want to say either at SMU or whatnot. But the one thing I
followed him
to Arkansas or to SMU.
Yeah.
But I was
reading our new strength and conditioning. He's not a strength and conditioning coach. He's the director of football strength and conditioning.
Ooh,
that's a title. His name is Trumaine Carroll.
That's also a name.
Yeah, it's a great name.
Y'all remember like 6-7 years ago? I forget his name, but he was I think he was the head of strength and conditioning for football or something. And when Aaron Lynch got drafted, he talked mess about him on Twitter and then got fired. Y'all remember that?
I don't.
I can't
a
say
lot has happened.
You remember Aaron Lynch transferred Notre Dame, like an old 5-star prospect or something,
that.
and transferred over. Got like 6 or 7 sacks in his 1 year here, and then got drafted third or fourth round or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then the old coach tweeted like, "Oh, I thought the organization would want someone with better like heart or drive or something," and so he was fired within a day.
Yeah, that's something you don't do.
That was something.
He must have been like really mad that he left the team to go.
I wasn't ecstatic that he left, to be honest.
Yeah, but if you're a USF player and there's a way for you to get drafted in the 3rd or 4th round, you go.
I'm sorry, he resigned May 13th, 2014. Strength conditioning coach Hans Straub, yes, after thought an organization with 5 Super Bowl titles would have a stricter draft criteria. All right, dude, way to not secure the bag. That's the kid.
Yeah, for real. The bag is unsecure. Our new wide receivers coach is Xavier Dye.
Another cool name.
Yeah, no, this is definitely the all-name team for USF.
Yeah, you either Xavier or you die. So there's your choices.
Yes.
How good was that one? Am I killing it?
You are doing a great job.
Mom, I know you're listening because we already shouted you out. You can finally be proud of me. Maybe I get to eat at the adults table this year.
Ooh. Don't push it. Don't push it. Don't push it. So we took him, the wide receivers coach from West Virginia.
Which is really great when you think about it. We took a Power 5 guy and put him in the same position at a G5 school.
I really like, it seems like with all the coaches, I mean, it seems like we've got an interesting mix of young blood who's hungry to win, but also with a good mix of people who had experienced some sort of success at the Power 5 level. So I'm really happy with this mix of coaching staff, and plus I just love that we have a defensive coordinator that led the country in takeaways.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the best on paper coaching staffs we've ever had. Time will tell, but as of right now, these are all really, really good names to have if you are going to try to build a good football team.
I will say, to proceed with caution, though, because I was really excited that we got Charlie Strong.
Same here.
I was really excited.
It's one of those, like, in the moment, we're like, yeah, we did it. Looking back, it's like, well, it was so obvious. Like, what's the quote?
We were 7-0.
All red flags just look like flags when you're wearing rose-colored glasses, you know?
True.
We're
Damn, that was like quote of the year.
It's from BoJack Horseman, I believe. Are we allowed to plug that?
What a show! What a show!
Oh
Not
yes.
an ad,
oh yeah.
but yes, we can.
Okay, cool. When do we plug our sponsors?
We don't. They won't let me advertise yet.
Dang it.
True.
I got you.
But if you have made up sponsors, we can run them.
Pippa's dog food.
Vicks Vapo Rub.
Ooh, that's a good one.
We'll get all like the Latin crowd. We got it.
Someone in my office came in. We were having it was like a potluck thing, and someone walked into the lunchroom and had a list of the top 10 most recognizable scents on the planet, as voted by I don't know how many people. But number 1 was coffee.
Oh.
Number 2 was poop, I think, and then number 3 was Vicks Vapor Rub.
It does have a very distinct smell.
Poop.
As does poop.
Poop.
Yeah.
First poop reference of the day.
Only one?
We don't usually make a poop reference, do we?
Well, now you do.
So should we increase the poop
state
output
of USF athletics, right?
Oh no.
Sorry.
Oh, this lad.
They're not going to want to be our sponsor now. Look what you did. I say our like I've been here.
Have you not been on every single show since we've started?
Just lurking.
Wait, you haven't been?
So is that it for coaches?
That's it for sports. Let's get into some segments. The first segment is the top USF stories of the last decade. So we have a decade of USF drama, crazy bullshit, personal stories. If you have any tea you want to spill, now is the time to do it.
Please,
Heath, you can go first, man. Go ahead.
I just want to tell my favorite story about so do you guys when you listen, I know a lot of you guys are out of town now, how when the team will sing the alma mater at the end of games, they will yell Quest during
what is that
sing
about?
of it. Oh, okay. This is my favorite. Okay. So it is 2014. Let me look it up. I don't want to lie. I would hate to be a liar.
I want to say that started becoming more popular in 15. Don't hold me to that.
Are you gonna correct the cheerleader?
December 1st, 2014. USF plays a home game against Alabama for basketball.
I do remember that game.
So
didn't we have
we're still in our struggling years and nowhere great, but brand name coming to town. Athletics tells cheerleading. If I haven't gone into detail yet for our listeners, I was actually a cheerleader for 4 years at USF, and this 2014 was my third year, my first year as captain. And they asked the co-ed cheer squad at this point, hey, it's technically not our game. There's a rotation between the all-girl team and the co-ed team. It was an all-girl game, but they asked co-ed team as part of with marketing and athletics to come and run the flags out for the guys and do a few little things. We wouldn't have to be in our uniforms. We could wear streets as long as it was USF and hang out in the stands. So we're like, cool, yeah, sure. We have to do a certain number of appearances throughout the year. So me and 4 other guys, so we could spell out Bulls, Bulls. Wow, crazy, right? Spells it out. We go, and I'm a big deal. I get the B. Okay, I lead. I don't know if that's you understand. Yeah. The only better one is the U, because then you get to stay and wave it sometimes. I digress. So we have to get there 15 minutes before. We don't need to stretch or anything. We run them out. Well, 2 of the guys, and I won't throw them under the bus because they're great guys. 2 of the guys decided they would pregame before. And so they showed up a little bit off, still having a great time, totally fine. Yeah. And so they're there, and luckily their job is mostly to follow me during the run out and then yelling in the stands, because in between we only had to do the beginning of the game, halftime, and then they wanted us one last time near the end. It ends up being a really crazy game, and we're tied. We're down 1 point, and the end of the game we sink a 2-pointer, and we go up to win. We hold them a quick thing, and we win. Everyone goes nuts, and we go on the court too. We shouldn't have, but we did anyway. The 2 guys also snuck a flask in under the stadium because they didn't check the shooter's bags, so they continued drinking during. So one of them, and I won't name him, but he was at this point a non-degree seeking student and 29 years old. Bless his heart, great guy, fun guy. He is a little off, and he's grabbing onto me, and also grabs onto Judy during the alma mater on the thing, and he does not remember a damn word of the alma mater. And it's so funny, and like the girls from All Girl are there, and the other guys, and we're all like quietly singing through, like paying respect, and we get to the point of our guide in quest for knowledge. But damn, if he didn't remember the one word was quest, and he belts out quest, almost throwing Judy to the ground, and I'm dying, like me and the other guys on the team and a few of the girls who are watching the spectacle. He only remembered quest, and so from then on, whenever we sang, we would like jokingly just yell quest at him or with him, and it just became a thing. So if you look at
not telling me that's where that came from.
That's how that started?
That is how that started.
See, I
love it.
I was under the impression that it was like something that the university wanted to start, like Quest was like Quest Diagnostics or something, like a sciencey research thing. This is the greatest story so far in the show, and I'm so happy it's a series.
So good.
So it one of the traditions of this university started because a guy got drunk and forgot the words of the alma mater.
Yes.
And it's a tradition. It's a tradition that USF hasn't tried to get rid of yet. I love it.
And it's because it's mostly like it hasn't passed on to the fans just yet. Like the ones who are up in those front rows have heard it and kind of learned it, but it's the cheerleaders that keep it going. Because if you ever sit and look at the dudes on the cheerleading team, that's been passed down. That is a part of our lifeblood. We're not a frat, but we have some of those mentalities.
Yeah,
that like get passed down. No hazing, but we do,
right. But I mean, you're a family.
A few balls on foreheads, Yeah.
I love it. That's so great.
I didn't know I needed to know that. I didn't know how much I needed to know that story until right now.
And I'm glad to pass it on, and now we've got some listeners who know it.
Yeah, I just tweeted out that the secret origins of Quest during the alma mater after sporting events is being unveiled. This is huge. I'm so excited.
Oh my god.
Because like I genuinely thought like the university was like yell Quest really loud for like research or something.
Keep climbing.
Oh god.
Oh no.
No.
Oh, no. That was the most miserable thing. And the best is that the announcer would forget it sometimes, but then he would remember it one point out of the drive, and you go, no, please. Have mercy.
I do remember though listening to because I remember right after that game there was exams on or we had our exams, so while I was studying I had ESPN up of the replay of that game, and I'll always remember listening to the announcers because the kick six had happened a week earlier.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say.
When the whole student section starts chanting Auburn, ESPN being like, "Oh, you hear that? The student section, they're chanting Auburn. That's just cruel."
Yeah, I remember that was right after that game. That was the best part.
There's two times I will ever remember for basketball, our student section getting credit. When we chanted Auburn, and then after Laura Ferreira drained back-to-back threes against Louisville in the tournament, and the roof just explodes. And then we just hear, "This might be the greatest student section I've ever seen in women's college basketball this year."
Yes.
So, back to like the best moments of the decade, since I was the only one who was, I don't know, Heath, I don't know if you did watch USF before you got there. But since I was the only one who was
my
watching
first year was
USF,
2012, the year after the Notre Dame game.
Okay, yeah, so that's what I was going to kind of bring up was the ones at the beginning of the decade, because we had our really only basketball tournament run this decade, I believe.
What are you talking about? We're CBI champions.
True. Sorry. Pardon.
Legendary.
In the NCAA March Madness tournament, we won 2 games.
Come on. Who cares about that?
We won the real tournament.
We got the Boner Award? Come on.
But we won our first game, which was the inaugural year, I believe, of the 12 play-in game. And then we upset, of all people, Temple, who I believe was a number 4 seed, or they were the 5. I don't remember if we were 12 or that year. and then we lost to Ohio, who was the 12 or 13, which still haunts me to this day that we couldn't beat the other low seed. Trying to think of some of the other football games. We beat Notre Dame. I believe.
Was Auburn this decade? Or was that?
No, Auburn was 07, I believe. And then
Temple.
I'm trying to remember. I think FSU was 09, so that's not in this decade, I don't believe. But as far as
that
football,
was first game, right?
Mm-hmm. So I don't remember any other like really early in the decade because that was when we were going to skip whole. So, I mean, we did beat Clemson in the bowl game.
Jeff Scott.
They were not Clemson yet, but you know, we did beat them. That's something we put on our resume nowadays. So that was a fun bowl game up in North Carolina, I think. And the Meineke Car Care Bowl. Yeah, that's. I don't even know if that exists anymore.
We really out you.
Yeah.
It ain't no butt trophy, I'll tell you that.
True, it is not. Nothing can compare to that, if we're being honest. But I think that's everything in the beginning of the decade. I know this is kind of when we were there, but softball's tournament run with Sarah Nevins. I know that's while we were still all in
2013.
Yeah, but that was still pretty early. Yeah. 00, you're my hero. That's all I remember chanting because that was her number, and she was completely lights out.
We've had a good few years of having a strong pitcher at a softball. Mm-hmm. Always one at least.
And we still do.
Shout out to USF softball. We don't talk about them enough.
Go Sports.
Oh, we will. We will.
Oh,
it's not spring
yet. Baseball season? Oof,
it's hard to have a world caliber coach and, not always be great. Because we are consistently good.
True.
Yeah. The coach of the national team, whatever.
I guess if you're into that.
Weird flex, but,
If you're into this thing called the Olympics.
Yeah, it is.
You've probably heard of it.
There's like 6 or 7 countries that come together. They play some sports.
Yeah, it's a few countries,
Just a few. Not all of them. Couldn't that be weird?
And as we mentioned last week, softball's going to get tested early. That is true. But yeah, softball's going to get tested early and often this year, so it'll be interesting to see that. And then
they play like Japan again or something crazy.
I don't think that crazy, but that was interesting having the Japanese national team come to Tampa.
Just run it up on us.
Yep.
We kept it close for a couple of innings, and then Japan, showed why they're one of the top
literally a national
team.
Yeah, a national team. I mean,
all of the best players that Japan had to offer versus like a lot of really good softball players who are like
college students.
But,
pretty even, if you know what I mean.
Phil, do you have a story?
Oof. Well, besides me coming to this lovely university, honestly, for me, highlight of it was probably the Birmingham Bowl. Not just because it was the Birmingham Bowl, but
not just because it's the
greatest.
No, the trophy. Just the trophy. Yeah.
Wait. Which one are you talking about? Because we have many to choose from.
First Birmingham Bowl. And just the reason I said that is, the Miami Bowl was fun, but we lost that. I
don't remember that game.
Oh, mine is the Miami Bowl, so skip that.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a good time too.
I'm gonna say the first Birmingham Bowl because we're coming off a bowl loss the previous year. I was just out of school, and we have a pretty solid. That was, correct me if I'm wrong. Was that the year? No, that was the year.
That was the turnaround year, wasn't it? No. Miami Beach Bowl was a turnaround, so it was.
Yeah. But that was still while we were still kind of putting it together. Weren't quite there yet, but we get a chance to play South Carolina, and you could tell South Florida fans were thrilled to be there. South Carolina didn't care because every time the video board is on a USF fan, the whole USF section just starts cheering and making noise. Every time a South Carolina fan goes on there, the whole South Florida contingent starts booing, and it was just a great time. And we were crushing up the half. We were in, Birmingham is where the SEC headquarters is. So we started chanting SEC, SEC. And then it goes to overtime. And, Quinn Flowers on the first play of overtime throws the ball. And to this day, because we were sitting right on the goal line, to this day, I swear that ball was going to be intercepted. And I'm thinking, oh no. And then Okino Dillon catches it and plays the rough.
Shout out Vipers. They picked him up, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Smart people.
How many we got some bull pride on the Vipers now. Hashtag start Q.
Yes.
It's kind of funny. Because I remember that game, now that you bring it up. When we were tailgating for that game, we talked to a lot of South Carolina fans that were tailgating next to us, and we kind of talked about them hating Clemson, and we were kind of like commiserating with them over it. And looking back on that, I kind of wish I hadn't said I hated Clemson so much, just to
Well, no one remembered it until you just said it. So
yeah, well,
this just in: Tyler hates Clemson.
No, not anymore.
Gosh,
they gifted us Jeff Scott, so I no longer hate them.
I remember those people. That was they were fun to tailgate with. That was just it was kind of a cold, not great day out, but it was just
it was
fun.
awful.
Like, I was actually in New York, and I'm flying back for this, and I'm in DC trying to get back in, and I've got a very small window, and I look out the plane, and they're de-icing the plane. I'm like, crap, this can't be good. I could do a whole podcast with my memories from that first Birmingham Bowl. The night before, how much fun we were having. That the guy in the bar who just kept yelling "Roll Tide, Roll Tide, Roll Tide."
Were you with us when we had free drinks at the hotel we were staying at, or no?
I got there at the end. And then we went out because Hunter told us that there was this part.
Right.
There was this club with a bunch of USF fans, and there's an hour wait to get in.
Oh man, I remember that. That's a subject for another time. But remember that lady in the bar?
Roll Tide, Roll Tide. She was so mad that we were rooting against the SEC. But
anyways,
to get to the end of the story, I think we all know how we felt when on fourth down, Mike Love coming and absolutely annihilating the quarterback and winning the game. I know Tyler tried to get on the field before security shut it down, but
I'm so mad I didn't get on. I'm still mad.
But the feeling of, my first game was the game against an FCS team I will not mention.
Why even bring that up?
To finally win a bowl game, though, and it was just to take a picture. I know Carl and we took a picture with the scorer in the background to remember that. And it's just like, holy crap. After 2 years of absolute crap, 1 year of we got close to winning a bowl game, we just won a bowl game.
Did the thing, fellas.
We did the thing. We had a nice thing. And then yeah.
So as a precursor to that year, USF lost to Western Kentucky in the Miami Beach Bowl. But this was my most fun trip, I think, that I've been on for football reasons. Because it's only an hour away from my...
You literally picked me up from the airport there.
Yeah, picked you up from the airport. We got a nice hotel. I think it was like comped by Carl's dad because he had like Hilton points or something.
It was a nice hotel.
It was a really nice hotel. We picked you up. I think we got to the hotel, put everything down. And then we went and got some stuff for the room. We got pub subs. We got chicken tender pub subs, which are the best ones.
As one does.
That was the first pub sub I ever had.
Thanks for the invite, by the way.
What?
Tyler, you and I were not really close, I think, back then.
No.
Why did you have to wait that long for your first chicken tendy pub sub?
Right?
What?
I grew up in Pensacola. We didn't have a...
I work for the Department of
not
Children
be
and Families.
eating
Do
one
you need me to call someone?
We didn't have... In Pensacola, we did not have a Publix until after I moved to Tampa. We had Albertson.
Rest in peace. I've never even heard of that. I'm sure it's not as good or even close to being good.
I thought it's like a CVS or like a Walgreens.
No, it's it's a public-like entity, but not.
It just doesn't have.
Good.
It's good. It just doesn't have.
It ain't no on-campus Publix. I'll tell you that.
No, it is not.
Oh, that place is magic. So anyway, we get out of Publix, and I got these like pre-made margarita things. They're like these delicious. They come in like mason jars. Got like I think I got 6 or 12. I can't remember if I bought 2 packs.
6 or 12.
Those are the options.
You know, one of the.
Sure. Have you had anything to drink tonight? Like 6 or 12 drinks.
If you don't remember, you probably got 12.
And all I remember from that night before the game was drinking margaritas and watching SpongeBob in the hotel room with Phil and Carl. And it was just a vibe. Like, I've never been able to recreate that vibe ever again.
Because we were watching Patchy the Pirate's Christmas special for some reason.
We were. But it was like a newer episode of SpongeBob, and we were very, very drunk. And there was this one episode, I'll never forget it, where everything is like claymation. And that fucked me up for like hours.
I will be completely honest and say that the first half of that game, I do not have a single memory of. That's how bonkers that tailgate.
The first memory of that, the memory I have of the game itself was I know that Quentin Flowers had 69 total yards in the first half.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah,
I will.
believe you. Nice.
I will say it's like because that was before I really, I drank. So I do remember participating, and this is going to make me sound really, really kind of lame. But I remember tailgating with the Western Kentucky guys who were awesome, by the way. And we had about a 50-person game of Flip Cup, and I'm there playing with my Gatorade because I didn't want to drink.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. You couldn't drink at a tailgate with the rest of us? No one was going to rat you out for any drinking illegally.
Let's not get into all that.
Yeah,
the bowl police are coming.
But yeah, so I think it was Courtney Leineke set up this. It was like the longest physical game of Flip Cup ever that I've ever seen or been a part of.
I think I still have videos saved of it somewhere.
And it was
a pretty epic game.
Best. And then they were these like yellow and green Jello shots that were top quality. The whole I don't think I was sober for 48 hours. And it was football and alcohol and my buddies, and it was the best weekend.
Right after that game, my parents, because they're huge USF fans, but we left right after that game. I was drunk the whole car ride home. The whole 4 hours that it took to get back to Tampa, I might have been asleep. I really don't remember a lot of it, to be fair.
I do remember of that game, a little dejected because we lost, it was a good football game.
It was a great football game.
And
it was in a baseball stadium.
Miami did a good job putting that bowl on. The tailgate at the beach was fun. Walking around South Beach, we had a blast. But then but I'll always remember though because that was the year our dear friends in Orlando went 0-12, and we're thinking
the donut.
Donut. But we're dejected. We lose, and then some guy behind us says, "Hey, at least we're not UCF." And then the whole crowd just starts chanting "UCF sucks" as we walk to the parking lot.
Yup. It was such a good. I know we lost, right? But the whole experience it was my first bowl game ever, and it was super, super rad to do that. But also, this was the turning point for USF. A lot of people would say it's the turning point for USF. We went 8-5 going into the game.
Was Tiger just got 1-3?
Yes, we started 1-3, and then had the turning point against Syracuse, right? With the
double reverse pass.
Yes, that was when it finally clicked, because the game before was Memphis, and they had that like players only thing. Like, I'm sick of losing, guys. And then Taggart finally like, look, let's see if we can loosen the reins on what my offense is.
Right. And you got to remember, these are the players who were on this team, right? That you had Jamie Bird, who arguably one of the best defensive players we've ever had.
Should be in the NFL.
Should be in the NFL.
Yeah.
We had Rodney Adams and Tyree McCants, one on one side, one on the other. We had Marlon Mack at running back.
Not just Marlon Mack at running back.
Right. We had everybody.
The junkyard dog.
And was Tice in that year? Didn't he have like
Tice was the number 3 guy, I think, but
didn't he have like a medical year or something in between there? I forget which year it was.
Is that the year
we had a stable? We had some running backs.
It was
that was
incredible.
Their sophomore year. Durniston,
2015, yeah.
I think that's the year he broke his leg too.
Tice
or had whatever medical injury, but when those 3 were healthy, you could be third on the depth chart. They still each got between 5 to 10 carries a game.
Back when we threw the ball to running backs.
We also
we
had Eric Lee.
Wow.
He got that super important interception.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Eric Lee. I roomed with him for a summer.
Oh, nice. And we had our best kicker ever, Emilio Nadelman.
Yo, I lived with him in a dorm at USF one summer, and I remember when he had a little friend with benefits in that dorm. That was neat.
Oh, shout out to Emilio Nadelman.
Little kind of short dude, but boy was getting it. I remember.
Love it. You love to see it.
A stark contrast, because I remember the kicker before him was Kloss, who, swole.
Big muscle man.
As all hell. And then you get this guy, Nadelman, you're like, what? But then he's like accurate as all hell. Like, cool, take it.
Oh, it was so nice. It was so nice to have a good kicker.
I miss being ridiculously confident.
I also want to shout out Maikon Bonani. Great kicker. I think it might have been before his time, but was a great kicker. Just throwing that out there. He won us a game against, I believe, Kansas his freshman year. Kicked a field goal to end the game against Kansas when they were actually good.
Wasn't that a top 25 game? USF versus Kansas?
It was.
I don't think it mattered that we lost, because that was just we'll remember that trip forever.
Right. I was bummed, but I wasn't like very bummed, I think. Like, just because it was a great time.
A great game.
Yeah, and it 100% like cemented our relationship, you, me, and Carl, like for years to come. Like,
without question.
That was because that was before we were roommates, I think.
No, that was senior year. That was the year you, me, Carl, and Marcus. Yeah, that was my
2015.
Senior year. Yeah, that was my senior year.
Oh, I forgot you graduated a year.
Y'all want to hear about it from cheer perspective?
Yes, I want to hear from cheer perspective.
So that was my senior year, final year, and the first year was 3-9 with Skip Holtz. Bye. First year of Taggart, 2-10, not great. Next year, 4-8, maybe something. And then beginning of that year, I'm thinking, well, I just went 4 years cheering and never got to see football. And then we started stringing them together, and we were really doing the thing. And then we had someone here mentioned it going through. We had the Temple game, everyone running on the field, absolute madness, feels awesome. And then sum up the end of the season with bowl game. So they give seniors and captains first dibs on it. They sent 4 guys, 4 girls, along with like all of the band, which was wild. And so we're there the whole week for all the festivities. So it was like 5 days for us. They put us up in the hotel, kick-ass time. We had like all the bowl game activities leading up for it. So like there was one day like at the mall or something. What stands out to me was that there was like the pregame bash like a day or two before, and us, Hot Band, the Sundolls there, and some of the football teams, and they had like a band battle, like drum lines were against each other. They had a tug of war, which we would have won because they let us pick 2 guys, 2 girls, and we were able to use like girls from our all-girl team. the rope broke and we had to reset and then we lost. But we were winning at first. It was some horse dookie. So there was a wing eating contest and I was ready to go, but Hot Band assured me they had a dude who would lay it out. And he did, and so we were the real champions. We won, like, it was like Nuke Wings or something. You had to eat like 5 of them first. We won. So go Hot Band. Shout out to them. I forget who it was. And like the night before the game, we like went out and like the other cheerleaders apparently like nightlife and being cool. And I said, no, I'm going to hang out with Hot Band because they were my boys and my girls. We go and we went to some weird like, because Miami has a huge Jewish population, and so it was like a kosher pizza place. It kicked ass. It kicked ass. It was like a dozen of us, and we just walked around, and no one was even drunk. We were just like laughing and yelling at random people and making friends with random people at like 11 o'clock at night. And this whole time we get back, and they're like, "Oh, let's go get Willie." I say, "What?" Like, "Oh, Willie, the cow skull we bought at the market yesterday." What? So Hot Band decided with some of their per diem that they all got, when they went to one of the markets at Miami, they found a giant bull skull and they bought it and named it Willie. And then the game day, like they had it and told people to rub it for good luck on the buses and everything. Hot Band's wildin', y'all. And they had this bull skull and they like, when I say giant, like it's like giant, like with horns and everything, and I want to find pictures, but it was a good time.
Insane.
Yeah, and so like game obviously wasn't the best results, but behind the scenes it was a good time. My roommate also, we got a really nice room up there. Got food poisoning like the second night, and he felt like mostly better for the game, but he was out of commission for all of it. Just liquid hot magma out of both ends. Bad time. Sorry, Bobby. Not to ruin you like that, Bobby, but
Bobby.
Oh, Bobby.
Rest in peace, Bobby.
Oh, rip in pieces. Yes, indeed.
So I think we're all in agreement that the Miami Bowl was just a great time all around.
Good point to turn it all around.
Definitely in my top stories of the decade for sure.
I don't want to go too deep into
phrasing boom.
Got him.
Yeah, well played. Don't want to go too deep into this because we're running a little late, but Temple, I'll always remember the buzz around that being we just need one win, either us or Cincinnati. We're going to a bowl game, and I remember thinking it's like, yes, Temple's top 25, but we match up well. And I remember my buddy, we were in business ethics, myself and Michael Saklarides. And we're just thinking there, it's the Friday afternoon class, and we're just sitting there looking at online, and you see this article, it's like USF they match up well. And we're just thinking, it's like, let's go, let's get tomorrow going. That we were so amped for that game. The energy for that game was just incredible. And then we all know how that ended.
Watching everyone run down, because again, I'm cheering then, so I'm like on the field, and at first they're like, no, you guys have to stay back, you're not allowed to be in it. And then athletics realizes like, oh, everyone's doing it, okay, this is good marketing stuff, go
Wait,
for it.
what?
That was so cool.
No.
Yeah, at first we were not allowed to participate, and they hadn't run in so long. Then seeing the wave of people jump, it was awesome. And then they let us go, and you can look in there. We all got to wear like because it was the service game too, so we all had like the USA Bulls hats with it was like the American flag on the Bull logo. It was really cool.
No. Because I was on the field as well that day. It was because I was a senior, so working with marketing, I was going to get Temple or Cincinnati off, and I chose Cincinnati just because it's senior day. It just seemed to make sense.
Yeah.
And we got pushed into the corner. We were like, "Hey, get out of the way! Get out of the way!" And it's like, still a great night.
I'll always remember the hats because you gave Haley yours. I'm not even sure that you knew who we were back then.
I remember y'all from way back, like 2013 when you played HVZ.
Okay, yeah, okay. I wasn't sure if you remembered Haley.
Yo, we do got some HVZ alumni in here. Let's go, boys. Let's go.
Yes.
Big shout outs to HVZ if it's still
anybody
running.
who is
big
a
nerd
student
energy
at USF and who is
Oh
At
no,
USF?
don't do it. It shut down last
No?
fall, fam. It's
Oh,
literally
no.
done for.
Rest
Yeah.
in peace.
Big rip. So big shout out also an F in the chat,
Yes.
boys. F F F F F F F
I will
F.
still go to like Target and look at Nerf guns and be like,
same.
ooh, I
Oh,
should
same.
buy
Oh,
that
yeah.
one.
For anyone listening and being completely unsure what we're talking about, Humans versus Zombies, an extended game of tag that takes place over the course of 6 days. It goes 24 hours a day with everyone starting a human working its way down until everyone turns into a zombie. I used to know the copy pasta by heart, and that's just the first part of it. There is
I think the 2017 OZ, Original Zombie.
Yeah,
I
remember that. Yep.
That
I
was
was one as
so
well.
much fun.
Yes, banana suit zombie. I remember that too.
Banana suit was the thing.
That was one of my last games playing, because then I
Mhm.
modded for 2 years. And
I was an awful human, but an okay zombie.
That's how it be sometimes.
I was a really, really good zombie. I think I knocked out like 20 people in like the first 2 hours.
You like that?
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of nerds running around shooting each other with Nerf guns and chasing after each other, pretending.
If anybody would like to try to revive it, go ahead.
We've tried, and it might be a thing, but it's difficult process.
All right, so we're gonna move on. We're gonna do New Year's resolutions, and these New Year's resolutions are gonna be: what changes do you want to see at USF by this time next year? So things that USF has to improve on for 2020.
Do they have to be new things, or are we allowed to cop out and bring back corgi races?
You can bring no. I was expecting yours to be corgi races.
I'll find something new, but know that is where my heart is.
All right, so
that was perfect timing though, because we got absolutely plastered against Tulane that day, and it gave us about a 5-minute reprieve from getting our rear ends handed to us.
The best production on the field came between the first and second quarter that day.
Yeah. Shout out to Pippa for being the inaugural corgi race champion.
She's down here tearing up a toy right now.
Pippa had the best run of the day that day.
Yeah, solid 20-yard up the gut for a touchdown.
Right into the end zone.
Yep. The crowd went wild, quite literally.
Who would win in a race? Either of the Black Cats from football this year, or Pippa in a race.
Pippa.
Okay.
Pippa.
Yeah.
Those cats were just
shifty.
meandering around the field. They had no real purpose. Pippa was zoned in.
So those cats were more of the I'm going to bounce it to the outside back. Pippa's the I'm going to run it in between the tackles and you're not going to stop.
Yep.
I need more pet analysis from Phil.
Hashtag analysis. Hashtag content right here, boys.
So if anyone wants to, all right. So after corgi races, if anyone wants to start, with what things they would want to see USF change for 2020.
I mean,
it doesn't have to just be sports; it could be anything.
For me, I literally just bowl game, please. That's what I want to get back to. After not having it this year, I mean, it's not just the bowl game; it's also just the fact that means it's a winning record again. And a close second to that would just be playing a meaningful game against CDOT.
Screw that. Get the road sign back.
Well, but even just playing a meaningful game at the end of the year would be nice.
I get what you mean. For me, it's get a shovel in the ground of the indoor practice facility.
Ooh, good.
Big one.
Actual serious thing. Well done.
Yeah.
And I think that'll happen, especially they made the splash hire they needed to really get momentum going. So that needs to happen. I want to say bowl game. I'm not sure if it's going to happen this year or not. Fingers crossed, but we have a tough schedule.
Speaking of schedule, they play at FAU, right?
Yes,
they sure do.
We're playing at everyone. I keep asking everyone.
It's kind of like a reunion. I'm about it. I'll go because it's like one of the early ones.
Yeah,
and it depends on ticket price for me, but yeah.
I'm going 100%.
That's
anyone can stay on my couch if they need to.
Put a shovel in the ground for indoor practice facility, and then by this time next year, I kind of want that marquee win. Whether it be, don't think it's going to happen in football next year. I just think there's too much ground we need to make up. But whether it be basketball, either the basketballs or something, get that one win that's just going to get the momentum going. So we talked about it when we were talking about Florida State. Next year, this time, let's have talked about and broken down one of those wins that just makes us go wow and be really happy.
Okay, this is mine. I have two. One is for USF the campus, and one is for USF Sport. The campus one is bring back Ben and Jerry's.
Yes,
there was no reason for Ben and Jerry's to leave. That was if you were going to USF prior to all these new buildings going up, you would go at around like 8 p.m. after classes are over and you're chilling. You're like, hey man, let's go get some ice cream.
Early?
What?
Yeah, that's pretty early.
You go that early?
Well, doesn't it close by 9?
This was a midnight trip. You're heading over to what was
yeah,
that?
That's
what it closed at
Andros? Is it Andros? Argos?
Yeah, it was
the
Andros.
Andros.
The pod market.
Was it open at midnight for ice cream?
I think they closed at like 10 or 11.
I just remember always going there super late because I lived in Juniper, and sometimes
shout out to JP.
It wasn't. I had
I'm
it
right
good.
there with you.
Yeah. But you'd have to cross over some nights for the stuff.
I was in Juniper. I was in Poplar, the first summer that it opened.
Nice. Poplar? I hardly know her.
Bring back Ben and Jerry's and the Pod Market. By the time I was there, that dining hall had been shut down, so that dining hall was never open. It was just Ben and Jerry's on that side of campus. The one for sports is, if nothing else, we got to beat UCF next year. Like,
agreed.
Lose every single game, but beat UCF.
I don't know about that.
If you can. Like,
I don't want to go 1-11.
I'm not saying you have to. I'm saying if you happen to be a terrible football team, you still got to beat UCF.
No, I'm not. I'm not signing off on that because 1-11. I'm probably calling for Jeff Scott's head.
That's fine. You could call for anyone's head that you want. I'm saying the only game I care about next year, besides FAU, because that's near and dear to my heart, is the UCF game. We got to win at home. Got to win.
You think they'll let me bring signs to FAU's game?
Probably, yeah.
I really want to bring back my "Show Me Your Willie" sign.
I've been there, but it was before the stadium got remade.
I love it.
And from what I remember, it was pretty lax.
Yeah, they don't care because no one shows up.
Shout out again unnecessarily to the 07. That's when I.
That should be a fun game now. USF versus Willie and Levin.
If USF doesn't travel for that game, like all the old heads, like
they will.
I'll be very surprised. Like
USF will travel. USF travels pretty well anyway.
It might be the first ever sold out game at that stadium.
I mean, granted, it was when we were ranked really high, but we went to play there. It was a large contingent. It was a lot.
Because like there's so much riding. We stole all their coaches, and they stole all of our old coaches.
The reunion bowl.
Yeah, the USF battles. Even if we lose, it's still gonna be a great game.
Just as long as we look, the name of the game next year is going to be improved. Just show me some life. Show me some life. Yeah.
Any other New Year's resolutions?
You already said bring back Ben and Jerry's. I'd prefer bringing back Beefs personally, but
Beefs is a big one.
That's a good one.
Beefs.
They put like a bunch of random stuff in that room.
You know what would be neat if I didn't go to a football game and get harassed and overwhelmed by drunk frat boys who ruined my signs and said that Pippa was their dog.
That was a saga.
Your boy was heated. And my favorite was when the camera came up and got them cheering it, and I was just looking like, kill me. Because not only was the game going badly, but my experience as a fan was not incredible.
Okay. Shout out to frat boys. Behave yourself.
They're not all bad, but that group, like,
not saying anyone's bad,
weren't wearing letters because they knew they were showing their asses. Oh god, what a day!
Just if you're in a fraternity and you want to be a hooligan, that's fine. But don't screw with Heath.
Don't rip my signs.
He's one of the good ones.
Not my signs.
All right. Don't touch Roach. And don't touch Heath signs.
Aha. Is that a Witcher reference?
It's a Witcher reference, my friend.
Oh yes, we got sports and Witcher.
The best show on Netflix.
I don't know how we're going to top that.
We're coming on the end of the broadcast. Is there anything
coming on the
you
end?
wanna...
You heard it right here.
Yep.
What?
He said that.
Who?
We're coming on the end of the broadcast here.
All right. You should keep saying it over and over. That's good.
Coming
Carl, please help us.
on the end of the broadcast here.
Whew. I didn't study anatomy that well. Which part is the broadcast?
The coming.
Yeah, I got that part.
Yeah, but he's asking what the broadcast is.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Which
actually,
part
it's
of
not
the
even.
cast
It's not even a. We're the cast, but we're not actually broad.
Who's the broad? What's her name?
We don't objectify women on this podcast. This is a.
It's 2019 for not much longer, but we respecting women in here.
Yeah, this is. All right, things we.
Mommy, I hope you aren't listening right now. Oh no.
Heath, is there anything you want to plug? It's hard to plug your Twitter because you change it every day.
No, I've actually. So I used to have my brand of establishing a new what is that? A handle? What's the difference between them? Your
Handle.
screen name and then your @ sign and stuff. So my handle changed every day for like a year and a half, and
Good
then
reason?
I no.
I love it.
It was my brand, and then I got a job where I needed to be up every day, at 6 a.m. So I started sleeping much better because I would do it. I had a 12:01 alarm on my phone that I would do this.
That's commitment.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot going for me after I taught in Alaska, but that's for a different podcast.
Yes.
Yes.
And then I got tired of that, and so other than that, the @ for my Twitter. That's not _Heath. So hit me up on there. Plenty of, I guess you can call it content. I think it's not __. It's 2 underscores. I'm currently declined toilet hater because y'all saw that. Like, it's made a toilet to increase your productivity at work. And after 5 minutes, you just get sharp pains in your legs while you're sitting on the toilet. I would die. That's how I get by.
Okay. So for the sake of listeners who don't understand what you mean by not _Heath, because like it could if it's not _Heath, it could be literally anything else. It's NOT __Heath.
HEATH, like the dead Joker. Is that an F in the chat? That usually gets some reactions.
Yeah.
Fun fact: I don't like Heath bars. Yeah.
I would never have guessed. I would love any candy that was named after me, but I understand after like how Ruth probably didn't like that abomination of candy.
More important is on Instagram. I haven't touched an Instagram in like 2 years, but Pippa does have an account on Instagram. If you look up Pippa is cute, all one word on Instagram.
Yeah, just do that.
Good content. Good stuff. It's all old, but it's good stuff. I used to have another brand of walking around campus with my dog, asking people, hey, you want to take a picture with my dog? And I'd put them on the Instagram. I have a baby harness that I carry her in, and I've wanted to bring her to a football game in the baby harness for the longest time.
You've got
Side note, baby harnesses are God's gift, by the way. I mean, after having to carry a small child, and I assume Pippa as well, baby harnesses are clutch.
Oh, yeah.
They're amazing.
Yeah, I haven't had to carry anybody in a baby harness yet. Maybe one day.
One day.
I should just start practicing now with like some vegetables.
Just
or
put a
something.
watermelon in there.
Maybe I will. If this gets 300 listeners, I will maybe carry a watermelon around for
no watermelon is what you're saying.
Please, I want to see this.
All right.
Shout out to HVZ again. I had a front-facing baby harness strapped to a giant like tank blaster of 2 guns with mounted PVC and stuff, and it hung from my chest. That was also pretty quality.
I love the commitment that you had to HVZ. Rest in peace, HVZ. Please bring it back like the zombies were meant to do. I have a dumb request. Can you get Pippa to bark onto a microphone?
Pippa, come here, Pippas. She's laying on the bed right now. So I had a trick where I could command her kill, and she'd perk up and look at the person I'm pointing at or alerting to, and she'd bark at them, which is very startling for people who don't know Pippa, but also really entertaining. Pippa,
that's funny.
Pippa, come here. Pippa, kill. Come on, Pippa, kill. She's like perking up, but she's not barking. She's tired right now. I'm sorry.
All right.
Understandable.
No, it's fine. I don't want to.
If someone were to knock, I need one of you guys drive to campus and come knock on my door. She's not hearing it because I don't have the
I know.
headphones in is the issue. I need to like ring a doorbell and her to hear it, and she'll go off.
All right, if this gets 300 likes, Pippa will bark on the podcast.
I'm trying my best, guys.
That's all right. It's a valiant effort.
Because back when I was training her, someone specifically said never teach them a command for speak or anything because they already naturally are loud and yippy at certain things. So never encourage it. And then I did the kill thing anyway, but it hasn't fully stuck. So I'm kind of appreciative, but right, Pippas? Yes, you little furry submarine.
All right, that's it for the podcast this week and the end of our first ever season. Thank you, Heath, for joining us. Shout out to whoever you want.
Can I give a shout out to the daddy chat and all my boys in there?
Shout out to the
100%.
daddies.
Hey, daddies, I love you guys, and all the daddies.
And I'm gonna shout out my crew in Oklahoma, Nick, Logan, Aaron.
You can follow the Bullseye Podcast on Twitter at BullseyeCast, or type in the Bullseye Podcast onto YouTube, and you'll get our channel. We upload our stuff there as well. You can find us anywhere podcasts can be found, from Spotify to Apple to whatever random app you use. That's all the time we have for this episode. We'll be back after about a 2.5 week break to do Christmas, see our families. I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas who celebrates. If you're doing a Hanukkah thing right now, I'm with you. Go. So hope everybody's surviving their families. Shout out to Kwanzaa. Big shout out to Kwanzaa if you celebrate Kwanzaa. And have a happy New Year. We'll see you in the next decade. Peace out. Merry Christmas and go Bulls.
Merry Christmas, go Bulls.
Goodbye, fam.
Go Burrs.
Yeah.